Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Miss Faye. This is my world. So let's talk about healing after narcissistic abuse. Uh, yeah, I've been through it, and actually, I'm thinking that it probably took me about 2 years to heal from it. It's a serious thing and not to be taken lightly. And you should do everything you know to do to avoid even getting involved with the narcissist. You see, healing from narcissistic abuse is a serious thing because you have actually experienced trauma yourself, whether it's physical abuse or emotional abuse. Now, for me, um, I suffered emotional abuse. Um, and it started out just chipping away at my self-esteem and things that I was comfortable in doing or saying or thinking. He had something to say about it. His way was the best way, and I was always in the wrong. So, it's a slow process, and it's kind of hard to understand unless you've been in it. But it's just as detrimental to you as if he were punching you. I mean, it hurts just as much. So this emotional abuse, okay, practically over the whole 6 year period, and after that, he would come back, and even if I would spend time with him, to go out with him, before it was over, he would have me in tears, and again, he was getting the supply he needed from me, and that's all. So healing from all of that, uh, it's not an overnight. Uh, it's not an overnight remedy. It's not an overnight remedy. It takes time. It took me a couple of years to heal from that. And what I didn't run off to the church or anything, or go tell my friends well, how horribly he treated me and things like that. What I did, I went inside. I wanted to understand what the heck this was and why was I going through it anyway. And it was a real hurtful thing. I mean, I did a lot of walking out in nature and meditating and things like that to try to get answers uh, of what I had gone through. And remember, if y'all could have run off and told my people about and everything, well, what are they going to say? Uh, we told you so, or you should have known better. Or, you understand? Nobody will understand you being in this situation for so long. But there are many of us who stick with the situation. Either we don't feel like we can leave the situation, or we're still hoping that he will change back to the person that you fell in love with. And that person was an illusion. It was never, he's never that person. You see? He was never that person. He came with this illusion to hook you in. So now this narcissist is chipping away at your self-esteem on a daily basis. It never stops, you know, and he'll do it in an underhanded kind of way. And I've seen some grandiose narcissists just do it right out. You know, just embarrass their spouses or their partners right out in the open. And, you know, of course the woman is embarrassed, but, you know, she doesn't say anything. But see, those things like that chip away at you. Oh, yeah. And one thing I needed to mention, that during the healing process, at least for the first year, you should be celibate. Should be celibate because you need to clear out all of his energy and energies. Because remember, if you've been sleeping with him and he's been sleeping with a lot of other people, which he is, then you have taken in their energies into you too. And it takes about a year to clear yourself out before you even think about getting involved with somebody else. That's very important. If you're serious about your emotional and spiritual healing, please consider to be celibate at least for a year. As I said, my narcissist was a covert narcissist, which means that he was undercover, and it was hard to tell until you were involved with him over a period of time, and then, you know, you got the devaluation and that kind of thing. And during the devaluation stage is when the abuse happens. So I don't want to go too fast. Let's go back to the beginning. All right, you meet the narcissist. Of course, you don't know him. You meet him, and first thing he's going to do, they call it love bombing. And what it is, he's going to do all the things that you would love your Prince Charming to do. Now, remember, he's got an evil entity riding his back that is directing him throughout this whole process, okay? He's already sold himself to the entity, and the entity is actually in control. So everything that you're seeing is from the entity, and he has no control. The entity has control. And these entities are extremely smart. They know exactly what you want. Exactly. So the deception. So now he's during the love bombing stage, he's building this illusion for you. And you are looking at everything through rose-colored glasses. You really are. You really are. This man is doing everything that you dreamed of somebody doing. Now, for me, I was all in. You know, I had several relationships before that didn't work. You know, I'd been married, 2 failed marriages. And so you want something to work. I mean, time is running out after all. So I'm thinking that I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make this work. All right. Everything was great in the beginning. But when we got into the devaluation part, everything kind of turned sweet and sour. I think that's a good term. Sweet and sour. Until the longer that it went on, it was more sour than sweet. Okay? I was with my narcissist. We dated 5 years. We lived together 1 year. During that 1 year period is when things got really, really bad. And I say bad because, number one, I really didn't want him to move in. He kind of forced me into it. I felt the pressure to say yes. And all right then, okay. I said, well, okay, it can't be that bad. I thought he was a decent person at least, had some bad days. So I let him move in. It seems like the very day he moved in, he started making changes. No, this needs to be over here, this needs to be over there, you know. It was just changes. So I'm thinking, now this is my house. I'm thinking, okay, I want to make it work. So I can go along with some things. I mean, it's not going to kill me to go. It's not going to cost me. Well, it did cost me, but not a lot to go along with these changes. But then he's never satisfied with anything. Never satisfied with anything. Now, see, this is where the devaluation and the abuse is. You have sacrificed yourself for something that he wanted. It's a sacrifice. It's nothing that you wanted. You did it for him. He doesn't appreciate it. He never even tells you that he appreciates it. He just goes on to the next sacrifice. The next sacrifice, whatever it might be. And I'm not going to go into what the little sacrifices were, but because I don't want to sound petty, but for the way that I think, I told him, I said, now listen, I'm not going to give you my house, but I will share it with you. But that wasn't enough. He wanted the house, he wanted to destroy me. So he was always trying to shame me about things and talking about my family and the way, trying to shame me about them. Alienated me from a lot of things that I would have done if I weren't with him. So all of this is that he's trying to change me into something that he thinks he wants, which is just a fantasy. I mean, he's just going to destroy it anyway. He didn't appreciate anything. This is the point I'm trying to make to you. They don't appreciate it. I bent over backwards, 3-4 times backwards to get along with them. It's impossible. They're never happy with anything. And I believe the Jezebel spirit was the same way. They're never happy and satisfied with anything. They always want more, 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 and more. And even with the money thing. Now, he did kind of scam me out a little money, but after the discard, he came back and he gave the money back. So my particular narcissist, I think he probably only gave it back because he wanted to come back. Okay? And if you check my video, that narcissist will be back, then you'll understand what I mean about coming back. But I want to get to the devaluation part, that you can understand how hurtful this period is to you. Here you are. By this time, he's not going to start this until he knows that he has your heart in his hand. You see? When he has your heart in his hand, that's when the devaluing starts. And the abuse starts. And you are hurt by it, and he can see the hurt in your face or whatever. But he's ignoring it. He's ignoring it. And enjoying it. Because it's the supply that he needs to survive. You're just an object to him. An object of supply. That's it. That's it. While you You have your emotions in it. Your heart is in it. You are loving this person and thinking that this person loves you. Now, he probably said that he loved you one time just to get sex, just to open that sex door. Probably said he loved you. You see? He ain't never going to hear it again because he doesn't. And he never did. He can't. He's incapable of it. So now here you are with this demon abusing you. Abusing you. Now, I took the abuse for a long time. Not, and a friend kind of told me that I was being abused, and I just kind of shrugged it off. I knew that I wasn't all that happy. But, when you are in love with somebody, your heart fills in the gaps. And the red flags, you just seeing butterflies. Roses, butterflies, doves, that's what you see. You don't see no red flags. You don't want to see no red flags. See? That's how a lot of stuff slips right by you. And dealing with a narcissist, this is an evil being. You don't want him to slip by you. Not at all, because he comes to hurt you. Hurt you in more ways than one. And he's enjoying it the whole time. So now he after, I bend over backwards, loving this man behind people telling me I shouldn't be with him in the first place. You see, now he throws me out like a piece of garbage. You see, we didn't have any big fight or anything like that. He just up one day and say, I'm going to leave, or something to that effect. And I'm not about to beg him, although I cared a lot about him. That was a little bit beneath me to beg him to stay. So I did stand my ground that way, and he packed up his things and he walked on out the door. Now, I guess it was maybe about a month later is when he contacted me again. But during this time, for that whole month, I was in shambles. I was in shambles. It shook my very foundation. And if you've ever felt that you were in love with somebody and it turns out to be just an illusion, you know what I mean. So now here I am, because I'm walking. I wasn't into spirituality then. Didn't know anything about it. But I did a lot of walking to the park and around the neighborhood, just breathing in nature and meditating, calling out to the universe to help me get through this. And I did that every day without fail. Every day without fail. And I think that first month, I think he positioned himself in the park. He knows that I walk every day. And I walked up on him. And when I walked up on him, I still had those butterflies. That tingling. When you see him, ladies, you know what I mean. When you see him, you get that, And so I think I just waved at him and kept moving. But I was hurt. I was extremely, extremely hurt. Devastated by the whole ordeal. And I was praying for the universe to take the memory of it away from me. I didn't want to think about it anymore. at all. It was a terrible, terrible thing. Now, after that, he waited for about maybe 2 weeks or whatever. And then that's when the text came, can I see you? You know. Now, me, during this time, I'm still trying to get over it, but I'm also trying to figure out what the hell this was. I've never been in any kind of experience like this that made me feel this way. It made me feel so confused. And why was I so hurt? I've never been this hurt about a breakup in my entire life, in all the relationships I ever had. And I could not figure out why was this affecting me so deep? Because I was dealing with a demon. That's why. I was dealing with a demon. Something in the underground, the spiritual world, the under spiritual world. You understand? And I start searching for the answers. And with him, he coaxed me out to maybe for dinner or something like that, and I'd go out to him. And I think at least twice I went out with him, and he brought me home in tears. In tears. He'd take me out and proceed to try to hurt me again and again and again and again, until I finally wised up and said, no, I cannot be around this person anymore. I can't be around him anymore. See? So I blocked him, all of that. You see, but now, this is another thing I wanted to tell you about my narcissist. When he discarded me, he just moved a couple of blocks away from me. So, he was bound to run into me, or he could check on me any time. You could almost throw a rock to where he moved to. You see? And the times when I did engage in conversation with him, he was always telling me, he would drop hints that, about another woman, or, how they just drop the little seed in, or, I went over here, and I went over there, and, things like that. And I think that was just trying to get a reaction out of me. You see, they look at you're just an object of supply, and they'll do anything they can to get the supply out of you. That's why they're with you. They don't care anything about being with you. They need the supply. So he probably did not move far away from me, because everything they do is for them. Remember that. It's for them. And I was a good supply for him. I mean, I was there for him. Whatever he needed, I was there. You understand? I was a good supply. So he didn't want to go that far away until he found another supply that he felt was as good as I was. You see? But during that time, I didn't know that not only was he a narcissist, I didn't know that he was on the DL. This all came out as I went into spirituality, and that's where the healing came in. As I walked and meditated with the universe, the universe started showing me my whole life with this man. It was like a slideshow. All of the things that were done and how I let it happen. In front of my eyes, just showed everything that he did, how I accepted it, how I let him disrespect me, how I let him do whatever. And then it started to build me up. Once it showed me the issue, the part that I played in it, you see, that's what it showed me first. Then it showed me who he was. You see, when I was with him, like most people, I didn't know anything about. I mean, I heard the term narcissist, but what did that mean? It didn't mean anything to me. Anything, And I'd even heard the term about DL men. It didn't affect my life, so what did I care? You see? But unbeknownst to me, here I am with both of those creatures in one, wrapped up in one demon. I didn't know anything about that. But as I took time in nature, because going out in nature is very important. It will ground your soul. And a lot of answers will come to you if you just go out and sit in a park or someplace quiet and breathe in nature. Breathe it in. And just talk to the universe. And I'm telling you, the answers will come. And you'll be able to strengthen and listen to your own intuition that is talking to you all the time. So now, this is beginning my healing process. I'm walking, I'm sitting in nature every day, meditating, looking for answers, and the answers start coming. Now, during this time, this narcissist is still knocking on my door. He's still knocking on my door because he needs supply, and I'm a ready supply because I'm close. He doesn't have to go out there looking for it. He think he can come and hit and miss me. You see? But by that time, I had stopped sleeping with him. And when I did stop sleeping with him, you could see on his face that he got very angry about that. Now, this is a man that walked away from me. He walked away from me. And now he's got the nerve to come back and be angry when I tell him, I'm not going to sleep with you. I'm not going to have sex with you anymore. Yeah. I think he says, oh, I can understand that. But you can see on his face, he was pissed. Because he came for that supply. You understand? That demon wanted that supply. No. And that's what, in your healing, if you're going through this healing from narcissist abuse, and you can only go through the healing if he's gone. You can't heal with him sitting there. I mean, how can you heal a wound if it's still open? If it's still open, you got to close it somehow. So you cannot heal from abuse if the abuse is continuing. You have to remove yourself from the abuser. Now, I sympathize with women who have lived their whole lives with him. They know what I'm talking about. But that's their lives. That's the path either they chose or they ended up on. I'm not saying that there is no hope. I'm not saying, but he's not going to change. I can tell you that much. Because he's a demon. So don't looking for him to heal. Not unless somebody knows how to get rid of demons. I don't. I don't know how to get rid of demons. But in the healing process, it takes time. It took me, I know, 2 years or so to completely be able to even face this man and not feel anything. Because I no longer see him. I see the demon. And I know exactly what I'm dealing with. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Remember, this demon can come in any form. He can come in any status. I mean, you know, he can be the executive. He can be the CEO. He can be, I just made a video about your pastor. He can be your doctor. Think about that. Think about that. He could be your doctor. You know, because many of them have that God-like complex in anyway. That's a narcissist trait. That's a narcissist trait. But narcissist abuse, when they're finished with you, you are weak. You are hurt. You want to just break down and go to bed and don't get up. Cry. How could anybody do this to you? How could anybody do this to you? To you. And why would they? Why would they? You have been so good to this person and so trusting of this person. How could they do this to you? How could they take your money? How could they make you lose your house? How could they go tear up your car? Without a thought. Without a second thought about it. Second thought. Just walk away like it never happened. Leaving you holding the bag. Your heart is broken. Your money gone. And now, how you going to heal from this? Don't go running off to your pastor. He can't help you. He probably a narc himself. The answer is in you. You got to start loving yourself. Now, I realized that I was not loving myself when I met the narcissist. That's probably why I met him. I was not loving myself. That's why I gave everything I had to somebody else to make them happy. Love yourself first. And if you have a little something you want to share, you do that. But love yourself first. And always. And always. And when it comes to a man, you let him do the work, not you. And like I said before, if he doesn't have a house, he's got no business in your house, period. I don't care if he came out of a cardboard box. He got no business moving in your house with you. Period. Period. Whether he is a narc or if he's just a good man or if he, whatever. Don't do that. It's a very, very bad idea. Very, very bad idea. So, I hope that I covered the healing how I healed. I hope I was clear there, and didn't make it too fuzzy for you. But what I did is very simple, because it's spiritual healing. It's a spiritual healing between you and the universe of all. Go out into nature. Go out into nature. Walk or sit, lay, whatever, and meditate to the universe. Tell the universe. Don't run off to church. You don't know what spirit you are praying to when you run off to the church. You see? Go out in nature. Meditate to the universe. And I assure you that the universe will reveal all to you. Take your time. Take your time. It's the faith that you claim that you have when you run off to church. But in spirituality, it's about faith. Trust. And your intuition will let you know when danger is near. The universe tells me every time the fool is on his way. Is on his way back to me. And it's never been wrong. See? That's the way you heal. That's the way you heal. Go out in nature. Talk to the universe. Ask the universe to heal you from this trauma. I assure you, if you stay with it, you will heal. You'll be stronger than you were before. You'll be stronger than you were before. Now the universe, I'm going to tell you something. I'm telling you something about this spirituality thing. The universe will reveal things to you that you might not want to know. Because when the universe revealed to me that the man that I fell in love with was sleeping with other men, do you know how I felt? Can you imagine how I felt? This was a man that I had around. I still have one of my sons still at home. There my son was. Of course, he's like a man, but still. I've, introduced him to my people. You see? But if you trust the universe, all will be well. All will be well. And all things will be for your better good. And believe me, if you have gone through this, with the narcissist and the abuse and the discard, this may be hard for you to hear. But this was a lesson that you needed to learn about you. This was a lesson that you needed to learn about you. And through your healing, you will clearly see what the lesson is. And the blessing is that you will rise like the phoenix. You will be stronger than you ever were before if you go that path. There are many paths. People different take. Some people run off to the church. Some people run off to the therapist. But I'm going to tell you what happened to me. How I healed. And I hope that I said something to you that makes sense. And if you feel like it might not make sense, Just give it a minute. Give it a minute. Think it over. Mull it over. Mull it over. Go outside. Breathe in the air. But I'm gonna say goodbye now. And I do hope that I said something that can help someone. And I want to thank you for joining me again and viewing this video. And I surely hope to see you next time.